So
Okay.
we are live, girl.
Brilliant.
So let's.
Oh, let me do notification.
Power your dreams,
Shut down
make
my
it happen
notification.
today. No matter your age, rise and shine. Live boldly, live authentically. It's your time to rise and shine. Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Oh, 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 oh. Your journey starts today. You've got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you. Empower life with Cleopatra. Oh, 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 oh. Empower life with Cleopatra. Oh, 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 oh.
Well. Welcome. I hope everybody can hear and see me. You're welcome for joining the show. Thank you so much. Can I hear myself? I can hear a reverb somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
A tiny little bit.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I can hear myself on the screen, but this is day one, so there's bound to be little hiccups and hitches here and there.
Yeah, with
But
live, anything
welcome
can go wrong.
everybody, whoever has joined. Thank you so much for joining. I'm excited about tonight's event. I'm excited about the guests we have tonight. And tonight, just say before we go anywhere else, if you're online, you could put something in the chat. Oh, that's better. Okay, I think the noise is gone. Thank you for that. So if you're online, please put something in the chat. Let's know you're here. Let's know you're here. I've got a fantastic guest tonight, and I'm so excited. Welcome everyone. So let us begin. Empower Life family, first of all, happy new month of December. I cannot believe where the year is gone. I really cannot believe where the year is gone, but we thank God that we're here. So, welcome back to another exciting and transformative episode of Empower Life with Cleopatra. Today, we have an incredibly inspiring guest joining us. Mrs. Debbie Okoro has faced one of life's toughest challenges, infertility. But before we dive into it, let me quickly remind you guys that if you would like to be my guest on the show, please send me an email. There's going to be quite a few things we're going to be doing now, really. One of the things is if you want to be a co host with me to join me on the show, please also feel free to let me know so that you can join me as a co-host so that we can host the show together. Okay. And then if you've got other things in mind that you want to talk about, whether it's relationship, whether it's health, whether it's business, whether it's just whatever it is you want to talk about, send an email to empowerlifewithcleopatra@gmail.com, empowerlifewithcleopatra@gmail.com, and then we would, run with it. Okay. In the meantime, let's go back to why we're here. I'm so excited. Debbie, thank you. So, through her unwavering faith, determination, and courage, she overcame this journey and is now a proud mother of two beautiful girls. Debbie will share her deeply personal and empowering story of resilience, hope, and triumph. So, get ready for a heartwarming conversation filled with lessons, inspirations, and a reminder that dreams can come true even in the face of adversity. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Debbie to share her extraordinary journey. Hey, Debbie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Cleopatra. Thank you, sisters. I call you for the opportunity. Honestly, it's an honor to be on your show. This is really, really going to bless a lot of people. This today's show and all that you've got planned is really needed. So
Amen.
I thank God that you run with a vision to do this. It's right up your stream, and I'm happy to partner with you. So thank you for inviting me to come. Uh,
Thank you so much. Thank you. So let's start first of all with like your background and family. So can you start by telling us a bit about yourself, your name, where you're from, and your family background?
So my name is Deborah Okoro, but I'm known as Debbie. So different people call me different things, but I won't tell you the name I'm called by my family, but it's Debbie to my friends.
I
Uh,
know the other name. What are you talking about?
oh, you do? That's personal to the family. And yeah, I'm originally from Nigeria and from the Edo part of Nigeria, and I'm married. I've been married now for 25 years, which is
Ooh,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yes, I'm a trained accountant by profession, and I still work in that field, although I specialize in the area that has to do with taxes, business taxes. And I also run a business on the side and travel business. I'm into the travel space because I love was one. We'll come back to that. One of the
Yes, yes, we're going to talk about that.
well, we do that. That's by night. I'm an accountant. By every other time, I'm a full time mom because mom business never stops. And so I work 9 to 5 and I run a travel business. So that's my background.
Nice one, nice one. So, when did you get married and what were your hopes and dreams for starting a family?
Oh my God. You know, before I got married, I met my husband when I was 20. So
Oh,
25. So actually, he left the continent of Africa and came, and we sort of lost touch. And but we reconnected, and then I came over to do one or two things in school, and then that's how we got married. So that was in 1998. Is that mine? No, no, no. 1994. What am I talking about? And yes, I came over, I got married, and when we did that, I think I was 20, yes, 25. I said to myself, I'm not, we said we were not going to start a family straight away because we want, you want certain things for your family. We want to have a home, we want to have stable jobs, we want to know each other. So we decided to have that time to ourselves to be settled in the relationship and in life. So that was my journey into marriage. Being married, I have no problem. We had no reason why that shouldn't happen. So yeah, that was when I got married, and things just went out from there.
okay, okay. So, can you share what your early journey into marriage and family planning was like?
Oh, family planning. So I haven't been married for when we got married because, like I said to you, we were not ready to do all of that, get start a family straight away and all of that. So what we did was I went on the contraception. So we went on birth control. We're like, okay, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna do all of that, we're gonna get stable job, we're gonna so that we did for 5 years. So I started trying when I was 30, and then I had my first daughter at 38. So for 8 years, I came off the pills at 30. I was like, oh, everything was settled. We bought our first house. We've we both have stable jobs. Everything was going well. So there was no reason for that aspect of our lives not to naturally progress. So I
Yeah.
came off this family planning, and that took us into this whirlwind of fertility, and it was a shock, and it just things just took on a whole different meaning for us. Was like, how could this be happening? I never thought that was going to be my story, and it just spiraled out from there. Year one, I mean, 8 years, 8 years.
Wow.
Looking back now, I don't know how I know how I survived. Certainly there was so many ups and downs, and it was just, it's not something, if you haven't gone through it, you can
You wouldn't know.
understand.
Yeah.
Because everybody's journey is personal. And it was certainly one of my toughest experiences in life. Yeah.
I can imagine. I can
Yeah.
imagine. Gosh. So when you realized there was challenging in conceiving, and obviously your initial reaction was shock and all that, how did you cope with, like the emotion of it, or emotionally trying to all these years of trying? How were you able to cope? How was you and your husband even also? How were you
Okay.
guys able to cope?
It was a shock, as I said. And we said, okay, right, what we're going to do. So, because he's in the profession, he said, okay, he knows that at a certain age, so I was 31, 30, and he was like, okay, if you're trying for 6 months, if you're 30 and below, you seek help. No, a year, you go and start the process of seeking, investigation. But if you're over 35, it's 6 months. So we immediately decided to go and seek help. After a year, we went to our medical practitioner, they ran some tests. But I kept asking myself, why? All these 5 years that I was on this birth control, there was no need for that. I could have not been on any of those things, because if it was not going to happen, why even go into any of that? So I was really, so we started the process. Emotionally, I wasn't there. I was really, and I think because we've always traveled, I had a good support of supportive friends. I had supportive friends that were around me, and we would travel together. We would go on weekend breaks. We would, because they were also, and I think it's important to have a community. Somehow we found ourselves in the same local church, New Wine then, and
Yeah,
they
I
were
remember.
also facing that challenge. And the three of us together, we just traveled. We would plan trips. We would encourage each other. We would go to movies together. We'd be eating popcorn. Sometimes one of them would have come out of the treatment, would be crying. But we supported each other
Mhm.
through that initial phase. And that was the support system I have to emotionally,
Deal with the.
yeah, to deal with that.
Mhm. Hmm. So, what were some of the hardest moments during your journey, and how did you manage to stay hopeful through those hard times?
I mean, there's so many moments. I think the hardest moment for me was when I would see people get married.
Oh gosh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And then around me, all my friends were just having children.
They
And
have babies. Hmm.
baby showers were a no-no. And you just see people, and then the comparison of, looking at where you could have been, where your child, if you had started year one, year two, year three, and all your friends and people started having children, and you're trying, and people say, just relax, it's gonna happen. I'm not thinking, I'm relaxed. Relaxation has nothing to do with it, because there's a medical condition and it requires treatment. So relaxation has nothing to do with it. I think the hardest moment was actually having to cope when you see people younger than you, people who just gotten to marriage, even people. And I used to say to my friend, "Oh my God, these people are not. Some of them are not Christians. They didn't have to pray and fast. God, God." Then I'll go back to God and I'll say, "You say children are the heritage of the womb. The fruit of the womb is His reward." And I'll continue to declare God's word. I had a set of scriptures that were, I can't remember them now, but I know one of them was the was, I will bless the fruit of your womb, the fruit of your body. I will declare them over myself. I'll say the blessings of heaven are mine, the blessings of the great deep, So, but it was a daily struggle, a daily battle. But I took to writing, and I would write poems. I would write to encourage myself. Then there was a podcast long before all of this. There was a podcast that I used to follow, and the host was, it's called Sarah's Laughter. She had suffered this similar situation, and she would send us a daily email on how to cope. And I still have some of the emails, and it was really, sometimes I read them back now, and I just see that it encouraged me then, and I just look back. So I was able to cope with all of those resources, and yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So, was there a particular event or decision that became the turning point of your journey?
Oh, there wasn't any event, I would say, because for me, I knew it was a work with God. I'm a very strong believer that when you seek God's face for yourself, it's gonna happen. I mean, I'm a part of a Christian community, and because it was very private, I wasn't one who was, well, now I can share it, but for that part of my life, and because of the community we come from, a lot of there was a stigma around it. I wasn't afraid of the stigma anyway. I just felt it was nobody's business. I didn't want public sympathy where they were calling people out for prayers and people say, "Oh, you are sorry." No, for me, I just knew that God has a hand in it. And when I sought His face, after having waited, and I went with the advice of our medical professional that we should go to the next step, when we decided, and I was always saying, Lord, I don't want to be an older mom, even though I ended up at 38 having my first daughter as an older mom. But what I meant was, I don't want to have children at 50. If it's your will, let it happen on the side of 40. That was my prayer. So I knew that I have to then start the process. And then it took us, even though we started at 31, it took us 8 years, even though throughout that time we had sought intervention.
Okay, okay. So you tried alternative methods of treatment and a support system to overcome the
Oh,
infertility. So what
yeah.
was this alternative method?
No, we had, okay, so we had, there's a process to it. You had all the tests and you were tested, as a woman, and but as a couple, you would have to be checked that everything was fine. And in our case, it was unexplained, because when it's unexplained, it means everything is fine. So
Mm.
aren't you getting pregnant? You couldn't
And
find.
especially because your husband is a doctor, so you're thinking, he should know, like, so
Yeah.
if
And so, and I think that helped me,
Mm,
reassurance that, look, there's nothing wrong with you. You are home with a medical profession practitioner,
mm,
and this is just the next step is to seek treatment, which was uh, IVF.
mm.
So we sought that, we went through that process, and that began my journey. Throughout that, we had the first, you go through all the consultation and all the tests and everything, and the first one failed.
Mm.
And it was like,
Oof.
it was just not what I was expecting. So again, you have all these emotions thinking my body couldn't, because there was nothing wrong with both of us, but
Mm.
it didn't happen. And we gave ourselves maybe 6 months. Yes, I think it was 6 months. And we went for another course of treatment, and it failed again.
Mm.
And at that point, we had moved to our current home. And I was like, let's just wait for a year. And we did that. And it's bizarrely, in that side, I've had two failed one now. And prior to that, I've never gotten pregnant. And bizarrely, while we moved and we were in this house,
Mm.
pregnant naturally.
There you go.
Yeah, that was yeah, but then I lost it.
Mm.
So I was now not only dealing with from infertility to the treatment to now a miscarriage.
Miscarriage. Oh.
And that was honestly the processing that, I don't even know. It was just again all these questions, and because now nobody knew, because it was still early days. It was I knew because I tested, and then I called my GP and they said go to the hospital. They did this scan. So sorry, there's no heartbeat. We can see the fetus.
Mm-mm. How many months was it, or weeks?
12 weeks.
12 weeks. Oh,
Weeks, because it was progressing, and we're just at the point where that's the first one we're about to announce.
mm.
And I woke up one morning, there was no, I did immediately I felt healthy and strong, because I was basking in the in the symptoms, because I was like, oh my God, when I tell everybody. But then I woke up one morning, there's everything just ceased, and I knew. I said to my husband, I can't feel anything. So I called them immediately, and they said, well, you have to go to the hospital. There's a clinic, you go immediately, and they'll scan you immediately. And there was booking or anything. So,
Wow.
see, we're so sorry. I think I was about to go for my 12th scan, and that was a loss. So
Wow.
we allowed it. So I was given an option to either let it to have it a procedure to remove it or to let it bleed. But I said no, I'll let it come out on its own. But I was still hopeful. I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna wake up. Maybe I'll.
I don't blame you. Yeah. Faith and everything, you know?
But sadly, I just like a week of heavy clots
Mm.
and 4 months later, I got pregnant again naturally. I was like, so again, another 12 weeks. I was
Don't
like,
tell me.
my body is really disappointing me. And but
Wow.
this time around, and when I went again, there was no heartbeat, and they was like, "Oh, when you have a miscarriage, is a way of the body getting rid of a fetus that's not going to be a viable baby." So trying to give me
You
reason for
feel better. Oh,
yeah, me feel better. But this time, because it was about a week before we went to Mauritius for my brother-in-law's marriage.
mm.
So I couldn't wait to bleed out because I don't want to go to the other side of the Indian Ocean and start being sick for a wedding. His tickets were booked, everything. So I went into the hospital, and one of our dear friends, Jane, accompanied me on that day to the
Mm.
clinic. And
I remember Jane.
yes, yes,
Yes, I remember Jane.
she was one of my support systems. She I'm not sure she remember. I'm going to remind her when I speak to her. Like she accompanied me. She sat as because so it was a word. She sat outside the and waited for me to have the procedure and then took me home.
Oh,
And then I was like, we went to Mauritius, had a good time. It was really good. I had to get away because I that took my mind off. My brother-in-law was getting married. His wife, his sister, his dad, my husband and myself with body playing. We went, we had 2 weeks. I won't forget we left on the 24th of December. We came back on the 3rd of January and we waited for I think 8 months. And I goes, okay. So I started doing my research and I go, something is wrong. And what I haven't mentioned was I have a pre-existing condition, which is rheumatoid arthritis, and I've had it for a long time. By the grace of God, I'm healed. It's gone,
amen to that.
ocean.
Man.
But I started reading, and some research shows that because it's an autoimmunity illness, it affects infertility. But
Mm.
until I dive deeper, a lot of these medical interventions won't actually look into that underlying cause. So I went to another clinic that was a specialist in looking deep into causes of infertility. What could be and I said, okay, this is the clinic I'm going. I don't care how much it costs. I mean, it costs money every time. Let's give it. I wasn't sure if it was one more go or not. I just said, I'm changing tactics. I'm changing intervention. I'm going to change our medical practitioner, fertility specialist. And I went with this renowned doctor. I've researched them, I've researched the clinic. I knew their rates were very, very high. And I was like, this is where I'm going. And then we went there and started the whole process. But this time it was more thorough than
Mm.
the previous ones we've had. It was really brutal.
Oh,
I see people with, just say, oh, I woke up, got pregnant. I mean, I experienced it. I woke up, I got pregnant, but I lost them.
mm.
But when you've had to go through those process of everyday injections for 2 weeks, the emotional roller coaster, having to go to work, having to deal with everyday pressures along just to have that child, you know, it takes an emotion. I can women and the couples going through it. There's a lot of emotional up
Yeah.
roller coaster. One that I've read a lot of stories around it. Some people don't survive it, even when they have children. It does affect them. They become very fearful, very protective, it affects people in different ways.
Good
But
ways. Mm.
yes, I was able to cope mentally. I had the scriptures to support me. And
Mm.
also that after that treatment, I felt pregnant with my now 13-year-old. But there is something that I got out of it. But for some people, sadly, with all the money they have spent, it's this in their story. But my story was different, and I'm
Mm.
very eternally grateful for that. But I still do have one or two friends who fall them that was in their reality, and I'm
Mm.
well aware of that. So I will forever be grateful to God for making me a mom today.
Amen to that. Oh, that's wonderful. So, what happened? How did you finally discover you were pregnant? And what was it like when you
So
discovered you were pregnant?
we need another episode of that. But with IVF, you would have to be monitored by your clinic, and your clinic will do the process of, you start the process of your injections, and then you have your egg collection process, and then you will then be told to come for the, you and your partner will come for the procedure, collect the egg, and the egg will be fertilized. I mean, the eggs that your ovaries, the eggs that have been produced, will be washed, and the best will be selected. One of the things from my previous two failed IVs was that my eggs didn't develop further than the first day. They
Mm.
are developing before fertilization. They will fragment. That means they are defective. They've not been fertilizing. They've just started exploding. So they were not, their time not healthy. And I was like, wow. And I think that might be why the two pregnancies, I lost them. I don't know, but they said that would have been the reason. So with this one, I wasn't very hopeful. You think I'll be a woman of faith praying? No, I was just like, you know what? Oh, maybe God just helped me. And that's what I love about God. When I say faith, you have to have faith for God to work. God is bigger than your unbelief. God is a God of mercy. Nothing, God can do anything. Nothing can stop God from, not even your lack of faith. He said, when we are not faithful, he remains faithful. And that just makes me believe that even when you are faithless, God remains faithful. And I couldn't say I was very hopeful, but I just trust God in some ways. With my tiny mustard seeds, feels like maybe this would happen. And I remember when I got the call to say, oh God, was it 7 eggs or 5 eggs? I can't remember. And then they called the next day. Said, oh yeah, oh Miss Okoro, yes, we've got two beautiful, I mean, from 5 to 2. Oh my God, yeah, we're going. He said, no, but they are very good, and we're going to fertilize them, and they will let you know the outcome when you can come for implantation. So I went, and I got the call to say, one is doing very well. Come, let's prepare you. And though I went, we both went, and I was implanted with the embryos. And then you have 2 weeks to wait. And it's not you. Some people can buy a test strip to do a pregnancy test. After the 2 weeks, you're already scheduled to come in for a blood test. So I was scheduled to come in, and palpitation. I didn't do any tests because I said I don't have any symptoms. I don't know. It's 2 weeks. Oh God, whatever. I went in. You do your blood works, and you have an hour to. They'll call you. So don't go very far from the area. Go. It was somewhere in Harley Street, so I had to wander in John Lewis. Just wait around. If it's whatever the outcome, will call you. So I wandered around John Lewis, very very uncertain. And you get a call to say they won't call to tell you are positive or pregnant. They have the pregnancy hormones would have gone up, so they'll tell you about the levels. And I remember, I can't remember exactly what levels, but I know that it's above certain levels. That means you're pregnant. I just said, oh hi Miss Okoro, your levels are X, Y, Z. And I was like, oh okay, what does that mean? So that means you're pregnant, you have to come back, I have to start another test. And I was shaking in John Lewis. I'm like, I dropped the phone, called my husband. I was like, oh, my levels, I think it's, I remember the pregnancy hormones, forgive me. Oh, my levels are these. Oh, they said, oh, well, that's brilliant. So where you know, so I'm just going there. So I went back because I ended up doing another set of blood tests and put me on another set of treatments for treatments. So all of these, you just found out you're pregnant. You're not going home to put your feet down and up and eat chocolate. No, you're going to have another set of prescription because the treatment continues now to sustain that pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
The progesterone injections, some multivites, and that I had to give to myself every day for 3 months. And then you plus blood works every week, or sometimes twice a week, scan every twice a week to see the progression. For 3 months, I would have to travel, and it wasn't even near my house. So all of that was it was not a restful pregnancy. None of my were, because of this situation I faced,
Mm-hmm.
all fraught with anxiety, which isn't good for pregnancy, but because of what I've experienced. But I, to tell you how anxious I was, if I would wake up in the night and I was just going, oh my God, I can't feel anything because of the 2 miscarriages I had.
Mm.
We would get up. It's okay, wait in the morning, and we'll drive to the clinic for a blood test or scan. It's okay, your baby's still fine. It's okay. And my husband didn't want to do that anymore. So he had to, bless him, had to buy a Doppler scanner.
Hmm.
So that became my reassurance. And, oh, I can't feel anything when you have your scan. I'll just put it on my tummy and I will hear the boom, 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 boom. You happy now? Baby's fine. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy.
Hmm.
I'm happy. I still have it, I saw it the other
You
day.
serious? Oh wow! Don't just keep that. That's a good keepsake.
It's still there. I looked at it the other day. I'm like, oh, I was even saying to her, I said, do you know this? I was saying to my daughter, do you know what this is? This is I was trying to you know.
Oh.
So that was it. And it went on for she was brought out at 28, 38 weeks. So she didn't go full term. 38 weeks she was brought out. You came to see
I
her.
remember I carried her even. We were singing. We were so
The pictures with you. I still have them. I was
yeah,
I,
exactly. You should share them.
I will send them to you.
Oh, that is amazing, honestly. So, how has becoming a mother transformed your life?
How? I think with Essie was not I didn't have the same process. Essie came 6 months. I was pregnant with Essie 6 months after naturally, and they're both here thriving. Really, I would say really really good girls. But it's made me more patient with God when I'm asking for stuff. Um, but the early days, it's made me more appreciative of the fact that when you're going through situations, it doesn't matter what it is, the end might not be the process of getting to your destination is not might not necessarily be conventional because God is not one dimension. We put our mind on what we think is going to be the way. It's not necessarily what God's way is going to be for us. So from being a mom, I've had to work with God even in terms of parenting. So I've had to really, especially in this current setting, so I've been more patient, more focused, and I really really more prayerful because again it's tempted to be fearful because initially I was fearful but I wasn't overly protective because
Fearful about what?
about losing them.
Oh gosh,
Exactly.
I
But
can imagine. Yeah.
when he was young, everything they say, oh, don't sleep with them on your bed. I'm like, you have no idea. They're sleeping in this bed, going to sleep with me till we are four.
When did you stop? When did you stop breastfeeding? Even because I know some.
No, that one, that had to stop. That one,
Okay.
they stopped themselves. I don't know, they just didn't want anymore. So the first one was 4 months, the second one was 4 months. They stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't want because they were so, they love food. So it wasn't up the way and one of the reasons they stopped as well, especially my second one, was because what I didn't tell you was when I had the first one, because I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I was on course of treatment, but I had to come off it. So at month 3 I relapsed, and I remember waking up, I couldn't do this, and there was a baby crying. I couldn't, my body just packed up. So I couldn't breastfeed at night. I couldn't do anything. I would be crying in intense pain. So we had an emergency consultation with a rheumatologist, and they said, "Well, we are going to put you on a course of treatment, but you can't have children after this. If you're going to have another baby, then you can't have it." I said, "Well, I'm going to try for another baby." So
Yeah.
for 6 months, I had to live with the pains because I was trying for another baby. And God so kindly, I got pregnant with Etsy.
Was that a natural pregnancy? The second one as well.
Yeah, it was natural. It was there was no medical intervention in that one. So after which I was still in pains before I was now. When she finished breastfeeding, I went back for the treatment. So the fear was anything could happen or I could pass this evil sickness to them, but I trust God for His grace. It's not their portion, and nothing as there's no indication that that's the case. They are well, they're thriving, and they are healthy, and they are like I said, thriving. So motherhood is fun, is unsettling. Some
There's
days,
no manual, is there? To
some days,
you learn as you go along.
some, I'm an African mom. Some days I'm an English mom. Some days I'm a mom friend. Some days I'm a student mom. Every every day is there, and every stage is different because now they are. I have one teen and I have one preteen, and you can see the changes in the way, in the development, in the way they interact, and you're like, oh
Mm,
God, this is just unbelievable. 13 years ago you went here, now you're here. You're
mm.
telling me what to do. How, mommy, be patient. When you're driving, you're too erratic. You are not patient, even though I'm taking you to school and you I need to get there on time and you're not ready, so that I'm now rushing. You're telling me to be patient. Seeing the development is really
Mm.
a thing of joy.
That's really good. So for your two girls, can you describe a moment that you cherish most with them? Because obviously I'm sure they've got different personalities. So for each of them, what particular moments do you cherish most about them?
So the first one, I'll say she's she's a they're both very sporty, but they're both very intelligent as well academically, and they both taken into difference. For the first one, she's an introvert, but I cherish the moment when she would just come and say, "Mommy, I want to talk to you," and I was like, oh my god, what's it? So I love you.
Oh,
You.
that's nice. Oh,
And then I'm like, don't do that. So what did you teach?
you want to cry? Like, oh my
And then I cherish that she likes one-on-one. She would say,
gosh.
"Mommy," especially now with my business, "Mommy, you don't have time for us anymore. You need to," and she would come and write a note. "I need time with you, and you need to not be on your phone." Even I will explain that, "Oh, I'm checking your music lesson. Check when I'm on my phone. I'm not necessarily on TikTok. I don't even have." She said, "I don't care. You need." So I cherish that she demands time from me
Mm.
to her, and I'm recognizing that. But the second one, that one doesn't send. She's just
Can't be bothered. Whatever.
like about her, she could just come and give you an unexpected hug.
Mm.
And she's not very touchy, but it's
Mm.
just very touchy. She's actually, but she likes to share her successes. I mean, now they have a phone and we download
Mm.
WhatsApp from them. The other one doesn't post anything on her profile or her status. So now I'm going to look at her status. I said, "What she posted?" She, so on Friday, she had a performance, a music theater performance in a musical school.
Mm.
She and a friend, they were awarded a medal for distinction because they had distinction in their exams. And they,
Wow.
yeah, so that was, they performed and they were given their medals. I got some and I was like, what's on her status? She's, every of her successes she puts on her status. God help me, she's only 12.
Oh, that's nice.
Said, "Yeah, Sonia, well done. We did it. We performed and you made me proud." She's talking of her friend. She's 12. And she showcase her medal. "This is the best, and the best is yet to come. We're going to take the world."
Okay.
People celebrate. When she scores a goal, because she's part of this football coming, "Yay! Guess what, guys? I joined the football team." The next page, she will put an arrow, flip to the next page. And I'm like, what are you doing? But the other one, she's a footballer, she's a striker, she's called.
Mm.
She doesn't even have a status. She doesn't do any of those. So you can see, I like that she celebrates her successes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because the other one wants to celebrate his future. So that one, she's not going to do well with social media. But the other one, she's going to be like, "Okay, this is me. I'm here."
Oh, bless them. Bless them. So, what advice would you give to anyone going through something similar now?
So everyone has to know, especially in our culture, you need to, sorry, I just need to grab my charger. You need
Okay.
help immediately. Once you recognize, if you've been married for, you are over 35, if you're married and you're constantly trying, you try to consistently for 6 months, nothing has happened, go and start your investigation. Go to your medical professional practitioner. Find a prayer without works is there. Don't pray and then do nothing. One thing you be aware of, and I say this of Christians a lot, particularly from my ethnicity, we you need to be trusting of the God who made the universe, that He made us in image and likeness. God is an inventor. He invented all the things we see, and He's given knowledge and skills to the medical practitioners. And you need to trust Him that the process will work, that your practitioner will guide you in the right steps. So seek help. And if you are under 35, you've been trying for a year, certainly go and investigate and do your research. At the time I was trying, I had to buy books. There wasn't a lot of resources or help. Now you have a whole lot of podcasts, Instagrammers, people talking about this show is one of them. Find seek help, do your research. If you're working with your medical professionals, they will guide you, and they will recommend the initial steps for you. They would work with your body. There are recommended tests. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't tell you what to do, but they would certainly start the process and you can work with them. So don't delay. I know you it's not lack of faith. It's like it's not lack of faith to take paracetamol. I mean, the Bible says we're in the world, we're not of the world, but it said you will face tribulations and trials. One of the things of living in a fallen world is that we will experience the consequences of sin. So we are redeemed, but we are, you say, be of good cheer, have overcome. So we are overcomers. We will go through it. We're not stopping. It's not a stopping point. We're going to go through trials and tribulations, but our testimony, that's why it's called a testimony, will come out because we have a test. So if you're having a test and you're not willing to you want it to stop there, or you don't want to seek help, you will have to trust that God will guide you to the right treatment. Because sadly, I've seen a lot of friends and some family members who have suffered this thing, and sadly, they haven't come out on top because they've waited to, they're 55, maybe 65. I certainly had met a woman just randomly at a clinic once, and she came. We were just having a conversation, and she said, "I wish I started early." Yeah, and then she was about 59 because my clinic used to treat people. She said, "I wish I started early. I'm not sure it's going to work. I'm giving it one more try." She regretted not starting early, and she's of our ethnicity and she's a Christian. So that's my advice: start early, trust God, and have a community. Find people of similar struggles, because I had friends with kids, and with the best intention, they have good intentions. They really don't understand the emotion. Oh, don't worry, all those off-sided comments, it can affect somebody.
Exactly.
It does. So
They
you
don't
need,
understand. They can be insensitive like that
yeah.
sometimes.
One thing I never do is ask anyone who's just got married, when are you gonna have children? No, I never do that, because number one, you don't know if they're trying. Number two, you don't know if they want to have children. You need to allow them to tell you. You need to. Plus, I don't know you so well. Our community. You're going to church. Oh, sister, how are you? You've been married for a long time. No, you need to be in their own space. And I developed an answer for those sort of questions, Elena. I just go, it's none of your business, even if you mean well.
Exactly.
And sometimes I don't even answer. I just maybe walk away or give them a dignified answer like, hi, God bless you, and off I go. So people who knew me knew that and I lived, enjoy your life. And I mentioned I traveled a lot. I was just going through some pictures, and I'm like, I must have gone through, we were just traveling. We were just, look like, well, if I not have anything to stop me now. And look at me now. I used to go like 3, 4, 5 trips. Now I only go on 1 or 2 because of school holidays. I said, well, I might as well live your life and don't let anything stop you from enjoying your life while you're waiting. So that led me to having a blog called Faithful. It was an outlet because I was waiting, and I knew God was faithful. He's still faithful. So my blog is called Faithful Waits, and just an outlet for me to write and download my emotions to God. And now I'm using it to support other people. I just write about my experiences, and then I write it from a place of genuine wanting to help.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So how can friends and family support someone dealing with infertility, for instance?
Pray for them. Pray for them. Don't ask them stupid questions. If they turn down an invitation, don't go, oh, you didn't come for my baby shower, you didn't come for my dedication. Just tell them, I know, I understand. And you can even send them a gift. So some of my friends, they used to send me Mother Day. I didn't, it was good intention, but I didn't like being sent a Mother's Day card or being sent an happy birthday.
Okay,
I
okay.
didn't like it. I'm not. And
Mm,
you know what? It just reminded me of what I don't have. I'm not a mother. You're. So people are different, and you don't know. I didn't tell them not to. So when I received them, I just chuck it away because I was like, I didn't want. It was a reminder to me that I
mm,
wasn't a mother. And people said, "What am I saying?" Yes, but some people they would take it and declare faith. Oh yes, I'm a mother, but when it comes to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, well, come on. I'm just tired of declaring it. Just hide it
mm,
away. So be sensitive. Some
mm,
people might not want to. You can even ask, do you celebrate Mother's Day? I want to do something special for you. If you're close to them, if you're not close to them, and then tell them, oh, I used to get a random invitation to go to one prophet, and I just didn't go. I said, God says, if I pray, whatsoever you ask for, you'll believe.
you
It
believe?
didn't mean that I didn't go to one or two. I did go to one or two, and that was just, it was specific. It wasn't the whole church. I like event where it was targeted to specific people, and every woman there. It wasn't a church event. It wasn't like from my church. It was about 20 women. I heard about this program, and my friend invited me because she was going through similar things, and we went. And it was a private inter. So I did that, and it was like a fellowship, and you could have a community. So be sensitive about Christmas, uh baby showers and Mother's Days, Father's Day,
Mm,
Valentine's Day, and they used to even send me gifts on Christmas because I'll buy gifts for my friends' children, and then they will think they need to do something for me. They'll buy me something.
aw.
They mean well. They're still my
You mean,
friends
well,
today,
yeah.
but now I know people going through that. I don't do any because I've been there. I would actually ask.
Mm,
But people are close to me and they say, oh, no, Debbie, we don't mind. Oh, send us a card. I'll take it.
mm,
Then I'll send them a card. And then
mm,
I will text them on Mother's Day and say, thinking of you. And then I'll send them a picture of my daughter, like, have
mm,
faith. And now some of them have gone on to have children because I
mm,
asked and they didn't mind. But
mm,
nobody asked me. And I was getting, don't just be suggesting, oh, go to this doctor, go to this prophet, oh, this person is coming to town. No,
mm,
no. You are not, especially when you're not close enough to them. And some of these people, I don't know them. They're just people that they know I was married in church. They know how long I've been married. And they just decided they're going to start sending me quotes or prayers or prophecy.
mm,
So we need to be respectful of those, mindful of the situation. It can even remind them of what they don't yet have.
yeah, 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 totally, totally.
And they should pray for them,
Mm,
love them from
most
afar.
importantly, even,
Be
yeah.
behold God on their behalf. So
Mm,
now there are people I pray for, and I'm one of those that cuts out every clip is about an infertility story, a success story. Every fertility
mm,
treatment, I because I write a blog on it. So I don't know, my phone or my background will be saved. Some I don't even read that. What is this? Because it's just something that resonates with me, and I know
mm,
that the more I read, I will be more knowledgeable and be able to bless other people.
mm. So if you could go back in time, is there anything you would have done differently during your journey?
Ooh, yeah. First of all, I would have just gone straight to the clinic. I went at the third time. Maybe with my husband's agreement, maybe start trying earlier.
Mm,
Maybe perhaps not. Maybe just be more prayerful and more focused and hear from God in terms of when we should try. Because I believe that was in our own strength. We just went.
mm,
This is what we want. This is how we're going to do it, and this is where. So perhaps listen to God more and work with God for Him to guide us into when
mm,
that's that wasn't certainly what I did, but he is
mm,
faithful and didn't hold it against me. And just because we didn't know, so we just went. So as I would have certainly maybe not waited as long as I wait 5 years after being
mm,
married to start thinking of having a baby, because we could have coped. We would have been all right, I think.
mhm,
And when we did start seeking advice, we help. We went to a different clinic. I would have maybe done my research earlier. I went, but I didn't know. So again, it's just, I think what I would have done was work more closely with the Holy Spirit, because He would have guided us into all truth.
True.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's amazing. Wow. What a journey.
I know, right?
What an experience. Nicole says, what an emotional and inspiring story. Are
Oh,
you telling me? Of course. I mean,
it is. It is. I mean, I had a podcast yesterday, and when I finished, my friend was like, when you said it, I didn't realize the impact, because I always, when I was pregnant with my two daughters, I would say, all of you, even till now, when I hear someone speak is pregnant naturally and go through, I was like, gosh, you don't know what I until I had SC, I didn't know what's going through pregnancy with that intervention was, because the
mm,
first pregnancy, there was not a moment of peace. I don't think I slept more than 4 hours because
mm.
of the fear I was going to lose. I was going, oh, this is so emotionally
I
draining.
mean, I can imagine. I can imagine. But now, all that,
Yeah,
it was
it's
worth,
worth it.
what do you do? It was worth it,
Yes,
it
it was
was
worth
worth it, and sometimes God allows you to go through certain things, not because he doesn't, he hates you, but because sooner or later, when you come through it, you will now be the best person to encourage somebody else. And that's exactly what you're doing now, isn't
Oh,
it?
I guess. I
You
guess.
know, because you
Yes.
can't give what you don't have. You can't advise somebody about what you haven't been
No.
through,
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm talking to a friend. I'm talking to some people now. I mentor them. I talk to some newly married people. They are in my circle of friendship, and I'm just trying to work with them through emotionally, and I can provide that support, and I can say, look, do this, or I
Mm,
even research for them. So I've seen, I hear this, this is a new treatment, and because that experience, God puts you in a place because He wants to use you in that place.
mm-hmm.
So don't discard your experiences or the trials you're going through, because there will be a testimony that would encourage somebody.
Somebody else. Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, I could even go on and ask, but we've already done like 50 something, about
Oh
50 minutes.
yeah,
Okay, already. Time flies when you're having fun,
I know. I was thinking it
You
was
know.
gonna be quick, but it wasn't.
I know. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask any questions you may have. This has been such an inspiring and heartfelt and emotional
Thank Yeah,
interview. It's been really good. And I know people who have been through
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and I'm sure this is going to inspire them a lot, and
I hope
even
it
going
does.
through. And that reminds me, if it's possible, the the clinic that you went to that kind of like now helped you,
Yeah.
you could maybe you might want to talk about the name or tell us the name. Maybe somebody might want to go there if they're
Okay.
that good.
Oh, what's the name of this guy? I'll drop it. I'll drop you a message.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that if anybody wants to know what the clinic is, if you're going through something similar, just
Yes,
DM me, and then we'll
yeah,
send
I'll
the
drop you the
details to
name,
you.
because I was looking at that, but they changed. I know the name of the doctor. I think it's
Mm,
called Harley Street Medical Center, but I couldn't find them again, so I suspect
mm,
they've changed ownership. But
okay.
I'll check. So I didn't do enough research.
Mm.
Apologies, but I'll check. I know that the name of the doctor is Dr. Taranasi. He's
Oh,
an
Dr.
Egyptian doctor.
Taranasi.
Yes, is that he owned the clinic, but then he was almost retiring, so I think that's why the
Probably is
name.
retired by now.
Yeah,
Mm,
but I'll find it for you. Definitely,
mm,
they're still there. I
mm,
have on my notes. I've not thrown all my notes away, or my medical
mm,
for the first three.
mm.
But who was it? I said, "What are you doing with them?" I said, "Oh my God, this is going to archive." Don't worry.
Thank you so much.
It's
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thanks for
Somebody,
having me.
I don't have the name here. Thanks for sharing your fertility story. It's very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
we
Thank
are
you.
so grateful.
I
And
am.
yeah, were you going to say something?
No, I said just thank you for creating the space. Thank you for allowing me to come and share my story, and I hope it blesses anyone who listens now and who's going to listen later. Whatever circumstances you're facing, trust God is faithful. His outcome for you will be achieved. It might not necessarily be your outcome for yourself, but whatever is in store for you is going to be nice.
Totally. I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, don't forget to please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, share with your friends, and just jump into the conversation. If you've got something, a similar experience or something else that you want to talk about, please just, DM me, Empower Life with Cleopatra at gmail.com, and let's just empower life together. And so that we can, like I always say, awaken the best version of ourselves. Yeah.
Tell it would like to host with you or come on it. So
yes, as I said earlier, if you want to host, if you want to be a co-host, come just DM me, Empower Life with Cleopatra at gmail.com.
Okay.
And join. Let's talk. Actually, I'm also thinking, I have some plans. I'm not going to say everything now because that the walls have ears or whatever. But if you want to be a co-host, you want to have a girl chat show or whatever, let's all just girls just sit down and have a chat or whatever, talk about anything we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right. There'll be lots and lots and lots of opportunities for that to happen. So all you just need to do is just DM me, Empower Life with Cleopatra at gmail.com, one word, and we'll make it happen. Thank you once again, everybody. And thank you for joining, guys. Thank you so much for Debbie for joining. God bless you, and give my love and regards to your beautiful girls, your husband, your family. And by the way, my condolences again on the passing of your brother. May his soul rest.
Thank you. It means a lot. Thank you. God bless.
God bless you. And guys, be bold and be kind, and most importantly, be empowered. All right. Until next time, when we meet each other again next week for a wonderful topic. This time, next week's going to be about real estate, guys. Real estate. All right. So you got to join. All right. If you want to empower yourself to make wealth through real estate and also
join that one.
Yeah, wellness and stuff. Make sure you get in touch and make sure you join the podcast for next week. Okay. So take care, guys. Bless you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.
Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Unlock your true potential. Empower your mind, body, and soul. Live with intentions, live with a purpose. Empower your dreams, make it happen today. No matter your age, rise and shine. Live boldly, live authentically. It's your time to rise and shine. Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Your journey starts today. You've got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you.